Hey everybody, this is Tracy with Color Me This. It is the weekly review recap of actually everything that I have worked on coloring wise in my world since December 8th, which was the last time I did a weekly review where I completed all 3 book whips that I had at that time. So since then, I worked on card making. From December 8th through the 15th, my friend actually came 2 days early, so that kind of messed up any of my coloring plans, though I still managed to get some coloring finished, very little. I also did an organization video that week that I posted. I had finished it before she came. And so let's talk about my card making endeavors. I made a total of 76 cards thus far, and I am on my last little projects. I have a custom wedding card to make. It does not involve any coloring. And then I did manage toward the end of the week, I pulled away from Christmas because you do get tired of Christmas cards, trust me. So I made a kit's worth of Easter cards, of which one of the designs, which is this top one here, is actually a colored image using the Stampin' Up! Colored pencils. They are a watercolor pencil. These are the 4 that I used, and that's my very simple coloring, and I still have enough pieces, stamped images. This is a remnant piece that I was going to make a box out of, so it has some score lines, but I used the middle of it, and each of them I have enough to make 4 more of this particular style of card that is from a what's called Paper Pumpkin kit. And so this is last year's spring Paper Pumpkin kit, so I'm trying to get caught up. That was one of my goals during that week, was to catch up on my kits. And then as soon as my company did leave, if you are curious, here are some just for fun. This is the whole stack of cards that I made. You get a certain number of resources, supplies that come in the kit, and then I also addendum by adding my own supplies. So these little die cuts here are actually already pre-colored and punched out for me. So I was able to make 3 of those, and then these are little card fronts that I trimmed down with some extra die cuts. So this is what some of the 76 cards that I made included. A jump start on my Easter cards, which is so exciting because I don't often get ahead of the curve like this. I still have my Valentine cards to make, but I send out the Easter cards, Easter and spring. So you'll see that my sentiments vary from Easter to spring and back to Easter again, and I send those out to extended family friends. And then Valentine's, I usually just send or give my mom and my husband, and then I send out to my card making friends. And then this is kind of what the extra bits and pieces look like. These are the pieces specifically for the bunny scene where I'm going to be coloring the bunnies. Very simply, it does not take long at all to do the coloring, and I really love, oh, here's more of the stamped images with more extra pieces. Oh, these are card bases. So I can make at least 4, but I can make as many as I want of these because these are just stamps, and they are very well done stamps. Very much like that kit a lot. So that was the week of card making. Then I had to jump right into coloring class, and I had already committed with my coloring group that we would make 2 more Christmas cards. They had already pre-reviewed the stamp sets and picked the bunny with the stocking. So I colored him. He was colored with Prang, and we spent, for this whole one image, over an hour where everybody really focused on making this bunny really blend and be soft. And the stocking is 3 colors of red, 3 colors of green, and the bunny is 3 colors of tan to brown using the 50 set. And then the bird is just 1 tone of blue. So that was really fun. Then I threw them a curveball, and on the second Christmas card, this does not have a sentiment yet. In fact, I am missing the Mary. My Mary went missing of all things. So I need to find Unmarry or make another one. And then this needs a sentiment. And I will be hand walking these out to community friends around the park where we live. So this particular one, I gave them some colors, but I told them to just color on their own. We didn't have a ton of time left in the class at that point, and everybody finished their projects. And this season for coloring class, I am doing, or coloring group as I call it, is everybody gets a raffle ticket for each completed project. I don't care how small or large the project is. So if you're working with a group of people in your community or in your friends circle, what have you, I have some supplies extra that I am going to be raffling off using the raffle tickets, and everybody gets raffle tickets for attending a class. They can bring me finished coloring projects that they finished on their own, and then when they finish a project to completion in class, I give them a ticket for each one. So we managed to get through both of these cards from start to finish. I had most of the card elements done and ready to go for them, and the embossing done, and everything cut, the sentiments ready to go. So that gives them a sense of completion, which was part of my journey last year, or this year I should say, it's not next year yet, was getting me to the point of actually coloring and not getting into the analysis paralysis and color choices and which page am I going to color. So that has been the goal of this year. So I think I have been able to impart that into the group, which just started meeting back up in November. So that was last week. And then in addition to making these two cards, so I'm going to call those two whips done. And then the Easter cards done using 2 sets of pencils. We're going to move on to my books work. I did not work on the one bridal project, and I do have for Sunday. I'm not sure if I will actually be able to commit to it because I think I'm crafting Sunday, but I'm not sure. And that is a Bonnie Snowden tutorial of a polar bear. And so I need to get the materials for that. It is, you have line art, you have a reference photo. I should have all of the colored pencils available. I just have to go pull them. So I'll be working on that hopefully the 29th. So my bridal that I did at a previous live draw with her is still sitting in my whip pile. I will be going through the whip pile. I don't usually have a lot. I believe I only have a swatching project, the Holbeins, and I owe a group member. She gave me a set of pencils she was frustrated with, and she's already learning that it's paper, that she's colored enough now that she's possibly going to take those pencils back, because it is my goal to spend some time with them and her with them once she's used the prangs enough. And I believe she is going to purchase the prangs because her set, even though I think it's a nice set of pencils, given the right paper, it's only 24 of them. And I really think a 50 set is the smallest quantity for a new colorist to be able to have lots of choices and not feel frustrated and limited. So I'm still looking through. I just don't see a lot of projects not done. This is where I will show you her work, though. This is where I had this image on nice paper. She didn't want to ruin the paper or ruin the project and thus waste the paper, which in my opinion is not possible. You cannot waste your paper on anything that you do because it's all learning. She was frustrated with her inability to blend. So I did a little bit on the copy paper and showed her that it is possible. She's colored now. She has 6 more hours in to her coloring journey than when she colored this. So I think she is learning. But I want to finish this image for her. I want to finish it on the good paper and then send her home with the good paper and the pencils again and let her explore that. And again, in the meantime, she has committed on her own to buy the prangs so that she can do more practicing at home with the prangs, because now they're her known quantity pencils, and she's familiar with them and has had some really good success with them. Let's see. So I believe I haven't gone back to, this is a whip that I'm working on with Dawn. It is coloring in, and actually the ladies who meet on Tuesday came on a Wednesday, one of the times. So we've all colored in this glass jar together and this house together, where these two were colored with different people. So kind of a buddy color. We're all working together. I get input from everybody on what colors that we should use. They are done with either the Color 120 or the prangs, depending on who I'm coloring that page with, because it does change. And the big infamous pencils in question is this wonderful 24 set. Sorry, it's about the shine. 24 set of the Eco pencils that years ago she paid $14.99 for. So I hope I have a little mini report on some weekly review very soon coming here on how I feel these went. This month just has been crazy busy, as you can imagine, with company, my family arriving, and the holidays all wrapped up in one. So let's now move on to daily color and Christmas projects. So in Small Victories, I've now wrapped up my Daily Color Big and Daily Color Special, which would be Romantic Country and Magical Worlds. So we worked on this week, finishing this page up. It was fun to use the, I don't have them right here. They were here. The Faber-Castell Pitt pens. I have 3 sizes, a 0.3, a 0.5, and then the big black brush nib. And I colored the 3 sets of circles with 3 sets of pencils. The top being Prang, the middle Brutfuner 520 flower boxes, and the bottom the Color 120 in the black barrel that come in the tube. And then I used the Faber-Castell Pitt pen black. I pre-colored the first 2 circles. And then I pre-colored and dotted the second 2 circles. The dotting is done with the Pitt pens. I'm not sure if that's effective. I'm still not the smoothest. If you look at it in the right light, you can still see lines and dots. And then I did the coloring first with the pencils and went back later and colored in the background. I also used, in addition, Posca Silver and Neon Jelly Roll Yellow, which is actually right here. And then I also took a quick yellow pencil, I believe these are Holbeins, to just get something on the stars before I shared this with you. Then we moved on, got 1 day, so I colored 4 days in this book and was able to do with the Luminance this lovely array of the key with the 3 balloons. And that was very nice to color. Love those pencils. Of course, they're big overkill for the book, but they do make a really pleasant experience when you use them, no matter what the project is that you are coloring on. So that was 4 sets of pencils. 1 page completed. I actually did a lot more in the last couple of weeks than I thought. Then today is my birthday, and I did manage to get started and got about maybe a little over halfway done with one of the 2 hub selected Christmas images. This is the start. I do have this all filmed in real time. I didn't plan on doing a lot of talking because I wanted to hustle through it, but I show the pencils colors as I go, and I might just speed the whole thing up. I'm not sure yet. It's 1 hour and 15 minutes. It's going to have to be a part 2 where I finish the snow, the trim of the house, trim colors, pretty much the snow with the trim colors, and then the shadowing. I tried to minimize the color choices, though you'll see that I do pick 3 reds, 3 of the greenery greens, as well as a fourth for the holly, and then two non-Christmassy colors for the gnomes, which I colored wrong, by the way. It was supposed to be green, purple, purple, green, and I went and accidentally colored him all lime green. So that's not what they're supposed to look like. But I think it'll still look fine. So I'm going to do a part 2 of this, and I'm not sure when I'm going to post part 1. But you will see the whole thing either sped up or in real time, and it will not be part of a daily color. It's just going to be like a special birthday and Christmas color. I do plan on finishing this before Christmas Eve, and then my plan for Christmas Eve is to go to this book, and I had quite a variety of options in this book, but the focus is on the page that Hub picked, which is a double page spread. I'm gonna probably say that if my goal is to finish by Christmas Eve, I should be able to finish this on Christmas Eve. And the second page, which is quite elaborate, I want to work on this before the new year and get this page finished before the new year. And I'm not sure, I had planned on coloring these on my own time and then sharing them with you as finished. But then I went ahead and just spontaneously, when I started working on the Christmas house, I went ahead and set things up because I had everything sitting here. So it just made sense to go ahead and turn the camera on since it's already sitting here for me for the weekly review recap. So that is all of the coloring. So I'm going into next week with one whip from this Christmas page. I still have the Dragon Whip, which I actually think the Dragon Whip is the one that fell down between my storage closets. And in order to access it is going to be Hub shifting the closet out. So that whip is going to be one of the lost whips. And at some point I will get him to recover that. So I don't have a lot of whips. I have maybe 2 or 3, even including the dragon. And then this is not even a whip yet because it is not started. So that really sums up my last whirlwind couple of weeks of coloring and card making all into one. I do have for coming up for next week. First off, I'm going to color the rest in the image in this page. I am going to continue Small Victories, the daily color. In the Small Victories, we will at least finish the 4 images that I just finished the first image right here. So we're going to complete this page before the end of the year. I'm not sure if we will get started on this busy small eight small images that I want to have 8 sets of pencils, but I'd love to complete 2 per page. So we'll see how far I get on that next week between these 2 books and finishing up the Christmas house on Christmas Eve, which I will film for sure. I will film Small Victories for sure, and I am not sure at this point if I will film this or if I will just relax on Christmas Eve and then we'll bring it to you and share with you my thoughts of how it went. And I haven't even picked out what pencils I want to use. So I also owe you guys, I want to do a looking back on 2024 before the end of the year video, and that is going to be a hashtag with Karen from My Colorful Country Life. I watched her video. She had 25 questions. I will choose a smaller amount of questions because some don't really apply to what I have done in my coloring journey thus far. Oh, and here I've unburied my Pitt pens. I will have also, I may do a part 2 storage, but that might wait until January. And then plans for next year, I am also working on, and I have a pile of books. My friend Dawn came today to visit. She missed my birthday celebration yesterday. She was off doing something, so she came by and she helped me pick out winter books. I don't own any winter books, so I asked if she wanted to go through my selection of books. And remember, I have done the video part 1 of how I store them. So she and I were able to just look at the books and then pull interesting ones out, look for possibilities. And I have beside me for planning next year, I have, I think, 6 books. And I will share with you at that point kind of what my goals are for next year, which brings up the channel statistics and how it's doing. And given how busy I've been, I think it is doing phenomenally well. And I thank everybody for supporting. People have said they're looking through my older videos when I'm not doing the videos every day. And I really appreciate that and appreciate you guys popping in and giving me some input. And I do try to leave community posts, just letting you guys know what's going on when I end up getting overwhelmed and too busy to actually do a video that day, or even when I plan for the next couple of days. So I hope everybody is having a good winter holiday thus far, and that you are making time a little bit every day to do some coloring or thinking about coloring or whatever coloring does for you to relax you. And I have been making myself work on, like, one of the things I worked on, which I consider part of my coloring journey, and that is going back through this book and logging the pencil sets used. It looks to me like I just thought I had updated it and I forgot the birds, but I have gone through and made notes back all the way to even back further. I stopped at this one where I had been, prior to this page, I had been keeping really good notes of which sets were used. So I did that this week. So that all counts. I figure anytime you're spending, even like Dawn was mentioning that she only doesn't own very many books, but she also doesn't color in a lot of books. She is at that point where she does her printouts, does the digital downloads, and then prints them out, and then also utilizes my very extensive digital library that I have to print out what she needs. So she had fun going through my selection of books and looking through them, coming up with some options for winter theme, which winter for me is going to last at least 2 months, probably switch to spring in March. So the channel is doing well. It is holding strong. And again, thank you everybody for your support. That concludes our weekly review. Meet back here tomorrow for another daily color in Small Victories, where we're going to be doing a castle, I believe. And let's see if I even remember. Do I have my list nearby? I did. We're going to be doing this Castle Art Soft Touch. So stay tuned and I will see you then.